Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you had a blessed New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I hope that everyone in your family was safe. Hey, Nene the Goat. Hey, Miss Toby. Uh, Queen Diva, EJ, Angie, how you doing? Um, D Love, hello, how you doing? Um, yeah. Okay, hey Tony Montana. I may or may not talk about this, but yeah, I just hope that you guys had a safe New Year's, and hmm, hope you appreciate your loved ones, and uh, you know at least one time, once a year, or just hold them close, and all that. I hope everybody just had a blessed New Year. Okay, so I am looking for. Oh, I didn't add it. Okay, so Rascal always got to go eat, drink water real loud, do something when I go live. He is so sickening. Now he over there tearing up the water bowl like he is starved out. Like, what is wrong with you, Rascal? Like, come on, Rascal. You don't take all that. He's a mess. Anyway, he is. He's something else. He like gets on my nerves. Like, why are you trying to do this to me, Rascal? Anyway, so let me add this photo to my lineup. Mm. And 1 second. All right, I can't do it. Unfortunately, I can't do it. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me see what you guys are talking about. Hey, Shady Blue, how you doing? Hey, Leslie, kind to me, how you doing? He's saying Happy New Year to you. Guys heard him licking? Did you guys hear him licking? Hey, Reed, how you doing? Hey, Eve Dallas, how you doing? Reed, I am going. Choreo Lover, hello. Um, Hypnotic Touch, hello. Okay, let's get started. Did you guys hear Rascal over there tearing up the bowl? I don't know why he always got to make all that noise. Anyway, so like they starving and parched to death. Yes, indeed. And then it's funny because every time Rascal goes and eat, then Saucy has to go and eat, and then she'll be trying to fight him. Now they have a double bowl for their food, but she'll try to fight him for the one bowl that he's eating out of, and then she's putting her head over in there, and then when he walks around her and go get water, now all of a sudden she's thirsty. They kill me with their BS. I'm telling you, I love my doggies. They're funny. Dogs are funny. Hey, Coco, how you doing? Um, yeah. Okay. Choreo Lover, you were supposed to enter your well-trained pet in my pet competition. So we're gonna have another one sometime this year. I liked it, and we have a lot of pet people who were disappointed they didn't know about it, even though they were in the other sectors. But they heard about it after the fact, and they were like, "Oh man, I wish I'd have known." So we're gonna test them out and see if they are going to join us. Hey, Face Yaya. Um, okay, so I'm going to talk about Demetra real quick. Okay, Demetra went on her big one yesterday, and she had a lot of things to say. And for some reason, she thought that it would be wise to bring me into this. Okay, Demetra. Okay, Demetra, you stated some things about 7 stars, and then you said that someone wasn't a good friend to me. But then you went on to start talking about me, and I've never been anything but a good friend to you. I actually tried to help you change your station in life with some education and some money that is given to people who are trying to improve their life. But you poo pooed on me. But you would rather, it seems like you would rather just beg and plead and, ask people to give you money or whatever it is you need in life. But I found it really, really strange that You actually had the nerves to say, "We've seen Ronnie Hughes' clubfoot." Okay, so now we may laugh and play over in this sector, and the thing is, you don't have to lie. What you don't have to do is lie. See, because I noticed that you bitter people always will go with a lie when the truth has been put in your face. You can tell that you're bitter. I haven't done anything to you but be kind to you. But you're gonna sit up and say, after you guys have seen my regular feet many a times, we've seen Ronnie Q's club feet. But no, Demetra, what we have seen is you try to sell ass. We have seen you demand all of these followers and ignorant people who will actually let you tell them what to do, tell them not to go into certain people's chat. We have seen a, a a New York fool who is always has Ronnie Q's mouth in her name for no reason, uh, get all hyped to say, "Oh, Demetra's mad at her. Ooh, now what she's gonna do? I'm not gonna do a dang on thing, nor is Demetra, because Demetra's life is a read within itself. Is ineffective. It does nothing for me. I don't get it. I don't even have any reason to be mad at Demetra. I just really pity her. Everything about her is pitiful. And if somebody who you try to help, this is what they have to say. Okay, but where's that getting you in life, Demetra? Okay, so you people on here, allegedly trying to change your lives, and it's also funny. Demetra, you told a whole lot of people where not to go, and then you start popping up in those same places trying to get money. Is it that bad? Is it that bad? And the New York low self esteem bitch. So what did you say to Demetra when Demetra told you not to go over there and you saw her over there? Did you curse out Demetra or did you keep your mouth closed? Because you are a real scary following ass bitch. Always trying to act like you're some bad bitch, but you're equally pathetic bitch as well. Always have Ronnie Hughes' mouth in your Ronnie Hughes' name in your mouth, and Ronnie Hughes never speaks of you. And I would not give you the pleasure of saying your name. Like Ayo said, those who know. Bitch, you get nothing because you clowned yourself, you played yourself, and I played video proof of you being a liar. And that's why you run your mouth and always taking your videos down because you're a liar. Because lie reads are don't mean anything. If you hit me with some truth, oh, that may hurt. But let me tell you something, Demetra. What you did yesterday said a whole lot about you. And it's not much to be said about you in the first place. But let me tell you something. You may want to bite onto people who constantly hurt you. Ronnie Hugh isn't the one. Ronnie Hugh tried to be of help and of service to you, but it seems like you prefer your station in life. It seems like you prefer to sit up and grovel and put up community wall post talking about, can you put something on my books? Can you put something on my books? It's almost rent time. It's been a tough month. Really? So you would rather do that than take some clear cut directions to improve your life. So you think you lying on me was a read. No, it was actually a read on yourself because in the midst of you, the reason for you out here lying on me is that you were begging for rent money, something I don't do. Okay, so we're done with Demetra. Do better, bitch. Hey, Jay Parrish, how you doing? Hey, Detach Myself. Uh, hey, Jessica B, how are you? Good to see you. I mean, it's just like really something else that you really can't, you can really can't extend yourself to people, and they think that you, I mean, like it's so ineffective what she did, what she said. Good morning, Max Boogie. How are you doing? Hey, Jess Andrea. And today I also wanted to touch on something that I had touched on in real world news. I talked to you guys about the book situations in the libraries where they're trying to, take certain books out of the libraries, and basically they're going back to the Salem witch hunt days. They're burning books. I want to show you. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Let me take this comment down. In Maine, in the state of Maine. Now, this is read from Florida, and now we're talking about Maine. A police officer was sent into a library where he was told by an anonymous caller. They would not give the name of the anonymous caller, and they wanted to go through the books and find a certain book that they felt leaned too friendly to the gay lifestyle. Now, I don't know what this book is, but I'm just going to share my screen with you right quick. And this is part of a news report. Let me put my banner up first of all. Okay. So I'm using this under the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the copyright. It's used for criticism, commenting, news reporting. So this is a little clip of the news report. I'm not going to play you the whole thing, but they're actually sending police officers inside schools to hunt down books based upon an anonymous caller. So then, after the teacher pressed for who made this phone call and what authorization did this cop have to do it, then the cop tell her, "Well, that's okay. That's okay. They're gonna handle it internally." Well, if they could have handled it internally in the first place, why exactly did they send a police officer with a gun to go search a school library for a book? Okay, so let me show you this. Body cam footage of this idiot searching this school. Okay, here we go.
Was obtained by the Daily Beast.
Maybe it'll help you to pick what book.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the ones that would be on one of these shelves. I don't actually currently see it here, so it may or may not be out.
Have you looked through the book yourself?
I did read it back when it first came out. Yeah.
So,
but I don't really recall.
So this is the edition.
Okay.
It's not the general idea of what the book's about. I can't present that kind of material to people under 18. So that's our concern. That's why we're here.
Yeah, it's a memoir about coming of age. I mean, you're welcome to remove it if you see it, but
so yeah,
I don't see it. So
could it be on?
It's possible that a teacher has it. A lot of teachers and other people have borrowed it as well, but it's not something that is out for everybody. So this is special approval only. So.
Okay. I mean, as far as any of these other books, are there similar images that could be in any of them?
Not that I know of. You're welcome to flip.
I'm not looking to flip through every single book here.
Yeah, not that I know of. No.
But place else in the room that would be left floating.
You're welcome to look around. I have not seen it. So.
It seems like you kind of keep that material over that way.
I do keep the material separate on purpose.
And obviously, it's like I said, it's not the general material itself, it's the images that are in it that constitutes material that you can't disseminate to children. And again, just because a teacher specifically has it doesn't mean you're in any kind of trouble. So I don't want you to think that, like if you think you know who the teacher is, I don't want you to.
Yeah, no, there's books on here that are meant for we've got teacher guides on how to.
Full on investigation here. What's next? Do they still go by the Dewey Decimal System in schools, or is it much more sophisticated? Now it works, but he really wants to find this book, perhaps wants to read it himself. This is alarming, to say the least. As we covered last week, an anonymous complaint went to police in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, to report about the graphic memoir Queer, which is among the most banned books in the country. I think we all know what the landscape looks like at this point. A complaint led to an officer visiting an 8th grade classroom at W.
Okay, so that's not what I wanted you to see. Now, I do think that certain things should not be taught to kids, but this was a high school, and she said that what the teacher described it as a coming of age story. Now, we were talking about the books that had been banned, and Clyde Broken Diva came up and she read a list of books that had been banned. And she was reading the authors, and Judy Blume was one of the authors. And I was like, wait a minute, I know they didn't ban Are You There, God Is Me, Margaret, because that was a coming of age book that most girls, young girls, had read. And that was one of the books that was banned as well. So some people have an issue with saying that a gay agenda is being pushed, but understand, don't let this the context of this one book confuse you, because they are taking out coming of age books that most of us have read in our childhood to explain what is going on, what's going on when you get your menstrual cycle, what's going on when you start to have feelings for other people in Florida. Now, this is in Maine. So now it has transpired to a whole nother state with a whole nother excuse, but they refuse to oh, it's not it's just the pictures that in there. And police officer, it doesn't seem like you're familiar with the pictures, but you just took somebody's word that it's the pictures that's in there. I don't know anything about this book, but what do you guys think about this type of stuff going on? Yes, Judy Boom. I grew up on her books as well. Yeah. So yes, they banned that book in Florida. In Florida. A slippery slope. Exactly. That is my point. And yeah, that's why I wanted to put it in context, because I didn't want to seem like I'm pushing any type of agenda. So I'm gonna drop my link if any of you guys. It seems like a lot of you guys are familiar with Judy Blume books. So how do you feel like that book being pulled out of schools because they say it pushes a certain agenda? And that is their code word for it. They say it push either an agenda to make white students feel uncomfortable. It pushes an agenda of any type of agenda that they want to say it pushes. So if you guys have anything you want to add to this, you're more than welcome to hit the link. Okay, 1 second. I have somebody up here because I think this is quite dangerous.
Hey, girl.
Brandon,
Hey.
hey, happy New Year, girl.
Happy New Year's. Girl, did she just let the officer in the house? Did I hear this correctly? Let the officer in the house and then
No, that was
invite you to go through her books?
no, that was a school. That was a librarian at a school.
But don't they still need a search warrant, or is that different?
Okay. Obviously he didn't have the authority, because she told him, hey, you're more than welcome to go look for it. Maybe a teacher has it, like, I'm not going to help you find it. He decided that okay, well, it'll be handled administratively, which seems like is what they could have done in the first place, but they decided to call a police officer. That's my whole point about this. I want you to understand that they decided to call a police officer about a book, and it could have been handled administratively all the time.
Right. Because this seems like way escalated higher than it should have been.
I agree. I agree.
And I've dealt with things within my own school system. I was on a live earlier this morning, and it's because I had to deal with things that were escalated to a point that is ridiculous. When do we, as people, having self-accountability, stop and actually say, what are the steps of protocol? What is, the tiers that we should be climbing instead of escalating things to the extreme? To me, girlfriend went cray. Whoever it was
What
that called.
girlfriend? Okay, I was just gonna say, like, who went crazy? Because I think the teacher played it real, real smooth. I like the way she played it. Like, okay, I
Oh yeah,
got
she was
somebody coming
calm.
up. Miss Toby, is that you?
Good morning. Good morning, Random. Good morning, Ronnie Q.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, honey. Um, my concern is not only the school system, but like I said, it's a slippery slope. So now you're going to start in the school system. I mean, this country is going downhill. I know we
Hmm.
have debated a lot, Ronnie Q, in regards to women's rights being eliminated, productive, reproductive rights. But my thing is, I'm
Hmm.
concerned. They started with this. They started with the Voting Act. They start with they're starting with what books could be read in schools. So what's the next thing they're going to do?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are they
that's
going to? Yeah, what's next?
and,
What are they going to
and
try to eliminate? What's
and
next?
they're using the police force to do it. Now, Maine doesn't even have all these laws that Florida has. So who took it upon themselves, an individual who they will not disclose who made that call? Now, all of a sudden, they don't want to talk about who made the call or anything like that. So that is another problem with this whole situation as well.
So
And
now you're starting. Now you're starting to call on people. You know what this reminds me too of? McCarthyism. Remember how people used to call up and tell on
Hmm.
people and said that they thought people was communists and everything? This is what it's starting to
Yeah.
come to.
and let me tell y'all this.
Okay.
What if you weren't able to have the privilege of being anonymous? What if your name was given out because you made the call? I bet you a lot of that foolishness would stop.
Um. Yeah, but I think that, yeah, like minds think alike. This police officer is saying it's the context of the book. Now, hold on, I have somebody in the back. Aisha,
Yes, ma'am.
how are you? I'm not
I'm fine.
familiar
How are
with you.
you? I
Okay, I
talked to you
just want to.
about a couple weeks ago or whatever. You had a early
Okay,
morning live or whatever, and
oh,
so I'm not going to be too disruptive.
okay.
However, I
I
do want to
remember your picture.
yeah. Happy New Year,
Let me
everybody.
say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, happy new year to you. Now let me put this in context so everybody will understand why they had that book in the library in the first place. This library has a designated place for people who are same sex or leaning same sex, a place for them to go and to be. You notice he said, I see you have it over in this area. She said, yes, that's where I keep all those things, because this library does have a designated place, like a safe space for them to go and be amongst each other, because maybe, I don't know if they're getting bullied, I don't know, but I do know they have a safe place. So okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just that was very interesting to say the least. The clip that you were able to share from TYT concerning the officer going in eighth grade is actually middle school. It's not even high school yet. It's middle school. I do
Oh,
understand that that is very controversial. About people are very particular about what they want their children to learn within the city school system. So I do understand, parents wanting to, have, ascension over what their child learns, concerning sexuality. However, myself being a mother, I'm not as, I believe that, that my child needs to be exposed to a lot of different things, because when they become an adult, they have to be familiar with, various areas of, different cultures, different creeds, different races,
mhm.
all that is a culmination that I want my child to be well-rounded and well-spoken and well-read. As I was when I was younger. I
What's
was, and I'm in my 40s or whatever, so I'm a Gen Xer. So I was, I still was reading Britannica, the Britannica encyclopedias and the Ebony, yearbooks or whatever, because my aunt and my mother kept those types of reading material around, the Reader's Digest magazines or whatever that had, various stories in there. What I will say, though, in reference to what's going on right now and the shift that is happening within this country, that seems to happen every century or so. We always seem to go backwards because we're not actually taking head on the issues of our past or whatever that that has brought us to these points or whatever. And because the default, I would say the white Protestant, the Anglo-Saxon, the WASP, because they want to maintain, a level of power. They have now, we heard about the, Project 2025 and the 7 mandate mountain or whatever that the, evangelicals have now put into place, where they want the church, to be in every aspect, or the head of every aspect of this country, and the way that we socially, understand, that includes entertainment, that includes sports, that includes religion, that includes corporate America, that includes government. That they would like our country to be a Christian, country in which, God is, the head of everything, which to me kind of, being a believer myself, that contradicts, the way that, Christianity works. So whatever, God would like us all to make choices. That's why we're able to
It
make
also
choices.
it also contradicts the whole the whole reason for America becoming America, because that was the thing that they didn't want to live under. What was it? Protestant rule
Yeah,
over
yeah,
in Europe.
that's why the pilgrims,
So
yeah, that's why they came
that's
over here. That's exactly
that's
why
the
they came over here.
that's the reason that
Mhm.
America is America, because people made up their constitution where they had the freedom to practice any religion that they want to. So and then they do this, and they want these things under the cloak of it being a constitution. But
Yeah.
there is a separation of church and state, which they always want to muddy.
Mm-hmm.
And but see, now they're trying to get it done under the federal thing, because there are federal laws and there are state laws, but federal laws override state laws. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think
that's
it's
why
a
when
pseudo,
Roe
it's like a
versus that's
pseudo
why when Roe
righteousness.
versus that's why when Roe versus Wade was repealed, rescinded, some states still allow it, and some states don't allow it under any circumstances, because you still have states' rights. So
And again,
it's go ahead.
Miss Ronnie
And
too,
let me tell y'all, I gotta drop
that was
down.
oh,
Hold
go
on,
Um,
ahead.
let Random say something.
All right,
I
I'm
gotta
sorry.
drop down. I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm gonna listen as long as I can while I have to do what I have to do. I'll catch the replay. But let me say this. That's the reason why, if you are a true Christian, you know that God can't make angels make you go a certain way. That's why we have to be the ones to make the choice. So for me, even though I may not follow these other religions, I think that's part of what makes life beautiful, is because everybody has different directions and we can learn from each other, because what convicts my soul may not convict yours, but
Mm-hmm.
we can learn from each other, we can grow from each other, we can become better people. And in this instance, with this young child and all this with the book, it reminds me back to where the lady had her daughter at school. I forget what state it was. It's been a few years back, but they cut her beads out of her hair. And that
I remember
pissed
that.
me off to know, because I'm a hairstylist. Like, I've been doing hair for 20 plus years. And now that I've lost my sight in one of my eyes, I can't do it, but I still have that passion. So when it comes to our kids, at the end of the day, we got to start making these people accountable. And I'm proud of that teacher. Let them know I ain't got nothing to hide. Stand up and be true to who you are. All right,
Yeah, but
ladies,
see,
peace.
thank you, Random. And see the difference
I'm
of
listening, though.
this happening. Go ahead, Random. Step down. I appreciate you coming up. But the difference between what happened in Maine as opposed to Florida, had that cop come in and found that book in Florida, they want to press criminal charges against the teachers and the librarians who would have that book in the school. If it's a book, even if it's a book that's not on the list, if they go in and find the book and say, "Oh, well, this is against our policy," they will fire the teacher or library, and they would try to have criminal charges against them. And so many public school teachers and administrators have left the state of Florida because they don't feel safe teaching there, because they don't know what's coming next. So anybody, Miss Toby,
And,
what do you want to say about
and Ronnie Q and see, and this is why I often say that it's very important to vote in state elections.
that?
It's
Exactly.
very important. It's very important to see who's on your school board. And if possible, if you're an active parent in the community, why can't you try to be on the school board? I mean, it's
Exactly.
very important.
Now, I don't know who all was here who heard me give the stories about Moms for Liberty. They were the driving force to get all of these books banned in Florida schools, and they went on a campaign to all these different counties, to the school boards. This Moms with Liberty is the head of one of the school boards in one of the counties. Now she's married to the Republican, the lead of the Republican chair in Florida as well. Now, her kids don't even go to public schools, but she campaigned and went to every county in Florida to get them on board, and now each county bans different books, but most of the books are by Black authors. A lot of the books don't have anything that is untoward, but they will in a sexual realm, but they will say, oh, well, this is inappropriate sexually, even if it's not. That's the label that they can just put on the book, throw it on the book, pull the book off the shelf. See, they're using it to really remove any type of their children learning about any other experience than their own. And also they want to take Black history. They have taken Black history out of Florida school system, and they want to take it out of college, that you cannot study African American history anymore. So there's that. Now, the whole thing about this woman and her husband, she has all this power, did all this. Her kids are not even in public school, but her husband was recently arrested for grape, with the
Now,
R replacement.
Miss Ronnie.
Now, hold on one second. I'm not
Okay.
done. 1 second. Her husband was recently arrested for grape, and he had to step down for his position as the head of the Republican chair. And also, the reason why he was arrested for it is because he had set up a threesome with his wife with another lady. Yes, this lady who want all these books pulled from the school board that may have anything to do with gayness or anything like that. So she pulled out of the threesome because they didn't say for what reason, but he went on to the woman's house and just took it. But him and his wife had threesomes with this woman in the past, so it's not like she changed her mind. They have video of her and her husband with a threesome with this woman. Now, this is the woman who is affecting these books being pulled out of libraries in school system under the threat of the teachers going to jail. And the most people who are affected is people who want to understand African American history. Go ahead, Aisha.
I was just going to, yes, Aisha. I was just going to piggyback off of what you were saying, because I'm familiar with that story as well, with the, Mothers of Liberty, and how, again, like I said, it's a pseudo, self-righteous, badge that I see that a lot of these talking heads and political, pundits like to, they want to be seen, and they want to, talk the talk, but they're not necessarily walking the walk, all under the guise of being Christian soldiers. When the religion that I study and the God that I serve with love. Everything is leading with love. Or whatever, and I can't tell you, I don't got a hell to put you in. I don't got a hell to take you out of. I don't got a heaven to put you in or a heaven to take you out of, or whatever. I think that we do ourselves a disservice of being super judgmental about other people, because but for the grace of God, have we not been put in the same situation and made the same decisions or choices or whatever? We all come from different walks of life. We all come from different circumstances, and I think that the circumstances that we come from substantiate the decisions that we make. A lot of us work from love and from hurt and scarcity, and so you'll find that folks are navigating the world in a way that is very destructive, self-destructive, as well as just wanting to burn everybody else's town down. And there's so many different levels and nuances to this, or whatever. We're talking, as a Black woman that grew up in America, descendant of slavery, or whatever, I have a lot of different things that I got to worry about, with all these shifts and changes coming through. I think that Black women in particular, as a collective, we are very familiar with what's going on. We know what's going on. We tell folks what's going on. However, we are very low on the totem pole, and so folks don't necessarily want to listen to us until shit has hit the fan, and then they want to run to us to save everything. So I think, when it comes to, the kids in the school, whatever, that's just, that's to me, just another cog in the machine, or whatever, it's the books, it's our reproductive systems, it's, our voting rights. And, let's not talk about the gerrymandering and, that can, with our voting rights, and how they, try to shut us out of various, experiences and spaces that we
and
do.
even if we're And if we, even if we're the monopoly, they would gerrymander the district so that our representation does not represent the number of people who are in that county.
Yeah, look at
So
Jackson,
we don't.
Mississippi. Look at Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, they did that down in Jackson, Mississippi, and so that they now have with their legislative system or whatever, they were able to appoint judges.
And they want to take their tax money and create a separate police force for
Mm-hmm.
the white part of town,
Mm-hmm.
using the money that they get from the majority taxpayer in Jackson. They want to have a separate police force paid by these black people's money for the white people who live in better areas in a different district,
Mm-hmm.
because they cut the district up that way. It's like, shh, they are so bold with Miss Toby. Choreo lover, come back up. You want to add something to that, Miss Toby?
No, I'm just listening. I'll if I want to, I'll say something.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Toby. So yeah, it's a lot going on out there, and they spread it so easily, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
they don't even have a mandate for this in this so the thing about it is, you have this woman, and when I discussed it one time, they was like, well, just because she doesn't want it taught to her kids doesn't mean that she can't have a relationship with a woman. Yes, that does not mean that. But if you're having a relationship with a woman, why are you trying to act as if it's something that can't be taught to your kids? But see, the thing about it is, it's gotten so bad that they don't. I remember in the 6th grade, we had what was it called? Sex education
Mm-hmm.
in 6th grade.
Hmm.
Now, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I was reading. I know you. Are you there? God is me, Margaret, and all this type of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Because my body was going through changes then. And they don't even teach sex ed. I was listening to this girl who was a freshman or a junior in college, and it was in the South, and she was a white girl, and she said that her best friend had gotten married. He was a boy, and their first night, he didn't know how to do it because he didn't know what orifice to use or anything about it. And I'm just like, and I was like, how old is he? And she's like, he's my age. And I'm just like, this is crazy. We have taken the clinical teachings about our bodies and how our bodies work out of school,
Mm-hmm.
based people and their religious belief. You should save yourself until you're married. You have young girls out here who are doing it anally, saying that they want to save their vaginal orifice for their husband, and have all types of diseases and stuff. It's just crazy. They have all types of diseases in their anal region,
Mm-hmm.
like what do you like the warts and all these things, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't even know how to practice safe nothing. It's crazy out here.
And
Okay, well,
Miss Ronnie, I'm sorry. I was
go
just
ahead.
I was just going to say that I also find that we're dumbing our children down. We're not giving them the opportunity to learn about stuff. And then I notice as the country so certain statistics come up every year or whatever, and we find out all these very especially with the diseases and our sex STIs, and we're finding out that there's even more transmission of these there's even more like what is it, like mutated versions of these diseases being
Hmm.
created because of the lack of education and the lack of talking to the kids to let them know. Because the thing is, when it comes to kids, once they hit that puberty, they are now stepping into unknown realm. Like their brain is starting to develop super quick, and they're trying to understand everything, and so they are going to push boundaries and they're going to step over lines because that's what humans do. That's what they do. So if you're 13, 14,
But
15 year old wants to be sexually active and wants to try drugs, that's just what the hell they do, because that's what kids do. That's how they find out stuff. That's how they learn. I'm not saying, yes, let's set up little bars for them and little clubs for them to actually have these little all these sex like clubs and these fantastical orgy fantasies and smoking all the drugs and doing that. I'm not saying that, absolutely not, but I am saying that we have to acknowledge that they are curious and they are going to want to find out and they are going to try things, because that's what I did.
but
I'm sure
but
that's what
but
y'all
see,
did.
No, but see, this is the thing right here. This is my opinion about that. See, because
Mm-hmm.
they have made everything illegal. Not, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about drugs. They have made everything illegal. They don't have any jobs here for these
Mm-hmm.
kids, for these kids to get, to grow, to know, to learn how to count money, to learn how
Mm-hmm.
to be customer service to people, to have pride in themselves of that. Yes, I like doing this, to be timely, to do things in order that it is written down per your job. See, our kids are not learning any of that. When I was older, it was commonplace for there were to be many places where you as a teenager could get a job from. Additionally, you there's like things that they criminalize, like these guys who even try to go out and sell water on hot days and stuff. They want to arrest these kids. I mean, they don't want you to have any type of legal side hustle on top of it. But they want to talk about they've taken all of the YMCA's, YWCA's,
Mm-hmm.
all these types of after
Yeah.
school programs out of the school where people
Well, Miss
had
Veronica,
some.
I wanted to add something on top of what you're saying. That's also, I think Miss Toby and
Well, you gotta
maybe
let me
Miss Random.
finish
That
first. You gotta let
Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
gotta let
I
me
was just going to say
finish
that
first.
they cut a lot of the funding for those, for the things within the inner cities that are more urban, that have more, browns and blacks or whatever. So a lot of that, when I was coming up as well, we had a program every summer, as well as we also had a vo-tech school or whatever. That's not even that, everybody learned it. If you wanted to learn a trade, it was the option for you to go ahead and learn a trade, or you went to the high school for college prep, or you went to the arts and magna school or whatever. And a lot of the, the city funding is being cut or whatever, and is not being poured into. And I would say that, it is targeted or whatever. And I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
And they've taken all of that out and they have put nothing back in, and now they want to say, oh, it's the parents doing wrong, oh, it's the parents, oh, it's the parents. No, it's our kids have nothing to look forward to. They have no skills to build upon. They are teaching the bare minimal in these schools because they have set the schools up to teach for these standardized tests. That is such disjointed education. It does not teach you anything about how to navigate a life as a whole student, how to add, to count, to even write in cursive. So this is a whole lot of stuff that's go on that I look at. Go ahead, anybody else, Miss Toby?
Jessica, no, I'm answering the question. Yeah, Job Corps is still around, Jessica. I mean, it's here. I know it's here in Maryland.
Yeah, we have Job Corps here in Pennsylvania as well.
Yeah, we
But it
still
was
have it here.
like, so even though we still have Job Corps, we have lost a whole lot of other things. I understand what you're saying. Don't the kids have to go away to be in Job Corps?
They do.
Yeah,
They
they do.
do.
Okay. Do they have to be over 18
No, they got to be
to go to
16 and
Job
over.
Corps?
16. You have to be
Okay.
16.
Yeah, 15 and
I
over
said
here. Yeah.
I don't know nothing about Job Corps because I
Job
had a
Corps is
job.
like,
That's
it's like a vo-tech,
but
but
my
they also
you
pay
know
for college as well.
But my
And you can
point
get
is,
your GED there.
I don't
Okay.
know. Wait a minute. My point is, I don't know about it because I had an opportunity to have a job. So that's my point. Because why is it just like the last resort thing is like going off like as a 16-year-old to Job Corps, and like it's like, yeah. So that's my point. You
But in
know.
Job Corps,
So
I went to Job Corps. As a matter of fact, two times. The first time I went, I dropped out of school in 12th grade, and I went that summer or whatever, in '97 or whatever, and I got my GED that summer or whatever, transferred over to my high school diploma, and I went to their advanced training down in Atlanta, and then I fell in love. Yeah, it was horrible. So I said, I know about Job Corps. Let me go. And then I went to West Virginia, and they paid for me to go to school or whatever. So I went to West Virginia State, and then I went down to Jackson State. So Job Corps, it's very for the most part, because I went when I was 19, and then I went again when I was like 23. So I would say that, the younger people that were there, they were usually there. A lot of them were like wards of the state, whose parents, like, they came from very troubled backgrounds. And it was giving
mhm.
them an opportunity to, still get their high school diploma or GED, what have you, as well as, take on a trade, whether it was a CNA or, culinary, carpentry or whatever. There was
Uh-oh.
and it was paid for. You got three
Listen.
hospitals. Yes.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. Okay, it's a place for it. I'm just saying, on top of it, we need more things. We need
We
more things
do.
like
Well, well, Ronnie
film noir.
King,
Just
can I ask you a question? So when you were growing up,
uh,
I know when we were growing up in Baltimore City, we had summer jobs. Did you have summer jobs too? Like the city would
black.
set aside summer jobs for the youth.
Yes, they did. Black Swan, your device is not connected. Yes, they did. Yes, they sure did.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. But see,
Yeah.
that's my whole point. Like Film Noir said that she in 2024 I should no longer depend on them to educate our people properly. I went to college in the U.S. and I teach for America. Our kids were straight unruly monsters. I quit the first year, and see that's cause and effect. People want to blame the kids and people want to blame the parents because this is. I mean, it's really kind of set up for us to lose. Is my point. What do you think?
I think
Well,
that a lot of the kid, like, first off, the baby, I'm older and my son is 7. So when I put him in private school, because I knew if I went to the city schools or whatever, I know how the teachers aren't staying as long. Like when I went to school, a lot of the teachers that I had taught my mama and taught my aunties and stuff and my cousins or whatever. That's no longer the case. They have either gone on to glory or they have retired, and now we have a new set of teachers who like Miss Femme Noir just mentioned, she didn't have the tolerance or the patience for it. Like, I don't got that to do or whatever. And I know also when I was, coming up, my mama would come up to the school and other people's moms would come up to the school and embarrass you straight in front. And a lot of my teachers were Black and Deltas and, what I mean? Like, there was a different dynamic with being a teacher was such a very honorable job to have in the Black community, as we all know. So I think that it has changed now because a lot of the parents are younger. Again, I'm in my 40s, or my son is 7. When a lot of his friends or schoolmates, their parents are like 25, like they're a lot younger than me because a lot of them are teenage parents or whatever, and so they don't necessarily have the same foundation that people my age or older have or whatever. So they're doing the best that they can with what they have, and so there's
well,
a lot of
I know a lot of my friends that were teachers and stuff. They left after during the pandemic. After everyone was going back inside the school, a lot of my friends said, "I'm not going back," because a lot of them started their own business and they were making more money.
Yeah, and the money, that's another factor or whatever, expecting the teachers to come out of their pocket and buy all the supplies, even though we get a list or whatever of what we need to buy for our kids. A lot of people can't afford it, or they're just not doing it or whatever. They're not reading the papers when their kids come home with stuff or what they need or whatever. So I think it's as Miss Ronnie said or whatever, it's a very cyclic, it's a downward spiral. And it does seem that we're set up to just keep on going through this maze and this generational trauma just being acted out, in real life or whatever. So it is quite unfortunate, and it is a systemic problem, Femme Noir or whatever. And so unfortunately, and nobody's being educated properly or whatever. And for
Okay,
those,
hold on.
Mhm.
Hold on. Take a breath. Okay. So, like she says, there are a million churches and they need to have more educational program. Now we look around in the Black churches. We look around at these mega churches. We look around at these pastors and living in mansions. We look around at these huge facilities. We look around at people who would rather open a movie studio on 390 acres, but don't put aside 1 acre to help disadvantaged children learn. We look around at the nobody's putting anything into our kids, even the people who have the ability to put something into our kids. Nobody is doing it.
I was like, because contrary to popular belief or whatever, I know that we like to say that, stick up for the kids, let's watch the kids, let's love the kids. But I would have to beg to differ from what, when I'm able to, observe on the news, when I'm able to observe in real life and what I'm able to observe on the internet, that we actually don't, we are more or less like F them kids. Like, I know the folks say that they love the kid, but I see it every day in just the most smallest spaces, to the more wider, like, we don't really care about the kids like we say we do. That's just something for us to say so we can feel good and look good to people when we saying it. I don't think that we really care about kids the way that we say that we do. I really don't, until something happens that's so
Well,
extreme.
I know when I was growing up, our school system was more or less like a community,
Yes.
where parents were active and stuff. And I'm gonna be quite honest. My mother would tell my teachers if I behaved, they could hit me with my butt. Because
Yeah, that's
sometimes
what
I did.
corporal punishment. Corporal
Yeah,
punishment
because
was
sometimes I did act like an ass. I remember I came home one day and I told my mother my teacher hit me, and my mother asked me, "Well, what did you do?" I told her I was mouthy, and my mother told me, "Well, that's what the fuck you get. Don't be mouthy and disrespectful to the teacher." And that's what I'm saying. Because some of these children they don't have respect for these teachers, and then some of the parents believe that their kids are so sweet and innocent, and you
No,
have to,
they don't.
know,
They
huh?
know they know they know they a lot of these parents don't even know their children because let's be real, let's keep it real. A lot of these parents don't put any time, any effort, any don't even ask how did school go, much less do you have any homework, much less did you finish your homework. But because a lot of people don't even take their children's homework into account. A lot of these mothers out here having their children babysit their younger brothers and sisters so they can go out and do whatever they want to do. So we gotta keep it real. We gotta care about our own children too. But I think that if the kids was able to make some money and bring some money into the house with a part-time job, that would ease up a lot of pressure off of some of these parents. And I think it would just teach them to be a well-rounded human being, as instead of these dummies and these jackasses that we have running around here now. So go ahead.
No, oh no, Ronica, I was talking about in regards to some parents would come to the school and they would cuss out the teachers and say, "I know my child didn't act like that. I know this, I know that." They think
But
that some
that's
of their kids are angels, and yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think.
I remember.
I'm
I
sorry. Go
remember
ahead,
Miss
Miss.
Cruiser gave a story where she said that she was surprised when she caught her daughter getting in somebody's, getting at a girl who had been bullying her, and then she was like really surprised at it, but it was warranted. But I understand that we you guys you guys may not know everything about your child and stuff, but it's more than just having the kid and thinking that the school is going to teach them, because it's bad out here now.
I think, I think the parents need to be very cognizant of their child, not only being their child, but being a whole human being and autonomous and able to make decisions. And the decisions become more complicated and more complex with each year that they get older. So I really try to train myself that my son, I love him down. Do you hear me? However, comma, if when he gets out here by himself or whatever, I also have to believe that he is capable of, like I don't want it to be true, and I'm hoping that I'm instilling everything that I can into him to be a good person when he goes outside, and according to his teachers I'm on the right path. However, I can't, if he does something that's totally, I can't, I have to be, I ready myself for anything that could happen as he gets older. And I think that, parents do themselves a disservice of believing that their child is just unblemished, untainted, not making no mistakes. Because you look crazy when your child messes around and does something real crazy. And you got, because the first person they're blaming is the mama. I don't care how old that child, they will always blame the mama for a child not being, the best that they can be or making any type of mistake. They are always going to blame the mama. Always. Always. Because, as far as everybody's concerned in the Black community, we ain't got no daddy. Huh? Shit.
That's not true.
It's
That's
not
not
true.
real.
I'm saying that to be facetious.
Listen, let me tell you something. People always want to do these statistics about the Black father, but the last, I think it was in 2021, statistics shows that Black fathers are more involved in their children's day-to-day life than any other race of father in the United States.
That is
So
true. I would concur,
even
Lonnie.
even if they are not living in the home, and a lot of Black fathers get that rap, and it's easy for people to just perpetuate this lie when it's statistically has been proven to be a lie. And that everybody wants to discount the Black man who gets up and feeds their children breakfast and comb their daughter's hair as a outlier or something, but the facts don't add up to that. So I just want to
Well,
say that.
again, like I said, I was being facetious. I was, I'm
Okay, I
married to a
got you
black man.
now.
Yeah, I'm married to a black man who gets up and with my son every day or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I was blessed, even though I was on the wrong path for quite some time. God saw fit to, make sure I was married before I got pregnant and had my baby and stuff or whatever, and I'm doing the best I can out here. I also do not, feed into the various, stereotypes that they have for our community. But what I am saying is that, on the outside looking in, and because I'm part of the Black collective, that anything negative that can be thrown at us or whatever it is automatically assumed immediately when anything, negative or off kilter goes on in our community. And, and again,
Now
like,
here,
mhm.
n- now here's a good point. She's saying charter schools are working well for white folks, but most of our charter schools are filled with kids that have been expelled. But they also they try to sell you in these elections. See, I don't even understand why governors and senators and all these people even have any type of views on charter school, because they're not working for the board of education. So why are they saying, well, your kid is going to go to whatever school they want under charter schools? But excuse me, that's not
And that's
true.
because of the
That is
privatized money. That's because of because it's no
yes,
longer under, and it's going towards, their cronies and their various individuals that may be paying into their campaigns or whatever in order to make sure it's just to keep their pockets fat. That's all that is.
exactly. Yes, exactly.
Monica, I have to drop down because Tiana is calling for me.
Tiana said, I got to go. I understand, girl. We know
Yeah, I
Tiana.
gotta go. But I really enjoyed this conversation. I had a great conversation. You ladies have a good day.
You too, Miss Tovey.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming
All
up,
I'm
Miss
I'm
Tubby.
gonna
I
get
right.
up off of here too
appreciate
because
it.
I'm supposed to be working, Miss Ronnie, and I'm sitting here just bumping my gums like I ain't like they ain't paying me to do this job over here. But I enjoy when you
Oh,
go live. Every time you go live, I love you, and I really appreciate what you bring to the table within the sector or whatever. You are definitely a bright side, and and I have a lot of clarity and insight that I think more people should take advantage of or whatever. You're very feisty, but I enjoy that about you. I love all the Black women. Yeah. And I hope you have a
thank
wonderful
you.
day and abundant new year.
You
All
as
right.
well.
Thank
You as
you.
well. I appreciate you for coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, so yes, great commentary, panelists. I'm going to leave the link up if you guys want to hit the link. I got my stats wrong. Okay, well, come correct with me with my stats and be able to cite where you're getting your right stats from. Uh, the link is pinned. Tell me exactly what stats I got wrong, and tell me where you're pulling this information from. Oh wait, the link is pinned because I don't have my stats wrong. Ain't no question about it. I know my statistics are not wrong about Black men being more involved in the day-to-day lives of their children. That was the only statistic that I believe that I put out that would make a motherfucker try to question me. Thank you, William. Uh, that was, I think Aisha. That was her who just dropped. Okay, so he's not hitting whoever that is not hitting the link like I thought. Okay, so is there anybody else who want to hit the link before I go? Thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank all my members, my mods. I greatly appreciate you. And see, we got to be really, really careful how we just look at things, how we digest things that is given to us in the media without any type of commentary, without people not knowing us as a people. That's why it's very important that other races of people are also know Black history. Black history is just not for Black people. I know that throughout most of our lives, uh, we've had an oral history that was handed down to us about ourselves because we weren't allowed to read and write. So we relied heavily on our oral history until we were in a place where we could learn and we could grow, and then our history was opened up to a broader swath of people. So that's why I think that it's very important that our history. You have to do your own individual research and not just spout other talking points. Okay, who are you talking to? It says black men in the same home. I didn't say anything about the same home. So, bitch, bye. You can't listen, but you want to come up against me about me being wrong, and I didn't say anything about being in the same home. So enough of you. You trying to tell me something I'm wrong about, and you can't even hear that I said they don't even have to be in the same home. The fuck out of here. Okay, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Okay, go ahead. No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the other person. Yeah, I was talking to the other person. I just read your comment. But okay, here's my final point. Okay, my final point is, hey, the real K Fit. Okay, my final point is we have to be really careful how we let others define us, and we have to be real careful of being okay with letting our history and our journey as a people be turned into something uh, vulgar, dirty, and negative as the powers that be tend to want us to be seen at through the guise that the powers that be want us to be seen as. So that is my whole point. And I understand that a lot of you say that you teach your children history at home, but you understand, like I said, our history is just not for us. Yeah, so it seems like if a lot of people in power had have different knowledge of us instead of this one-sided knowledge of us as a people being not as smart or whatever type of crazy idea that they have as us as a people. And it's not only a lot of us don't even know the greatness that our people are have created, the things that we created, the ingenuity that we have lent to this nation to build this nation into what it is. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't even know that there was, I forget his name. See, because nobody ever talks about this guy. His family, he's one of the richest men in America, and he has so much money into tech companies and to I think he's a billionaire, and he's not in entertainment in any type of the way. All of his stuff is in tech, so you never hear his name. You hear all these other names in tech. Who knows his name? Somebody knows his name. Uh, Okay, I don't know his name. I'm gonna have to look it up. I have his name the next time because his name is not never mentioned. I was so surprised to hear about this guy. But anyway, I think it's more important that we look at these people and understand that we can do it. I look at properly bona fide, like properly bona fide. I never heard her say that she went to a private school, but I heard her say that she liked learning and she excelled at learning. I think that we need to pick up on the things. We have to look at what our kids are learning to see if they are excelling in certain things. Do they like math? Is math easy to them? Math is not easy to everybody. We need to understand that, hey, that can propel them into going into a STEM program. Let me look into somebody said that their mother's church has tutoring to get kids ready. You have to be active in your children's education at this point because it's really getting tough out here. A lot of people just want to look at us one type of way. A lot of people want to argue the fact that Black fathers are more prevalent in their children's lives than any other race of people. Okay, so let me say this. There was a death in Chicago last night. No, New Year's Eve. There's a death. A man was at a party, and somebody shot into the house and he was shot several times. Two other people were shot. One person is in critical condition, and he passed away. Now, just because he was in the northwest side of Chicago, people will read. And I want you to know that while Chicago has this huge crime rate, so many people are getting killed. It's like, oh, well, let's see how many people died in Chicago this weekend. Well, let's see how many people died in Chicago that weekend. But the thing about Chicago and their police officers, Chicago police officers solve very few crimes. There are very few crimes that are ever solved. Very few people who are ever even arrested for these crimes in Chicago. So, we have to look at this too. So everybody think that, yeah, Chicago, they must have been out there. Look, everybody who dies in Chicago is not a bad person. There are some good people who have been taken out and for no good reasons, because the politicians are not making these cops do their job. These cops are living good lives in the suburbs. They are not hurting for any money, making good pay, and these are the people who are being paid well over the teachers, and they're not even doing their jobs. So I just want to touch on this young brother who passed away. He was a great help to his parents, and he was loved by his family. All right, goodbye. That's all I got. I'll see you tomorrow.